Hello travelers, Boardman21 here, and today we're going to discuss the 4th out of 5 skills, this one being Aerial Assault for the Falconer class. And this one's going to be a movement ability, or at least it looks like it moves you. Your Falcon will pick you up and carry you across the field. We're going to go over all the nodes, some synergies, some interactions, discuss them, give you my opinion on it, and then at the end of the video, go ahead and give you some gameplay with the skill tree spec a few different ways. So let's go ahead and dive into it. Aerial Assault, you leap towards the target and your Falcon dives to catch you and momentarily carries you even further before it flies up and unleashes a wing burst at the target location. So what's cool about this is I'm assuming it's a traversal skill, although it doesn't have that tag, but that could just be that it's not showing. And you get damage out, you get to move and you get damage out of it. But let's go ahead and discuss some of the nodes and see what all you can make it to do. Going on to the right side, we have Swift Wing. You now travel faster during aerial assault. We have Covering Fire. The wing burst hits apply frailty now. We have Tactician. After landing, all of your active ballistas prioritize targets around you and deal more damage per intelligence, as well as gaining increased attack speed. This one's absolutely nuts. Your ballistas gain 75% attack speed, which is almost double their firing rate, and then they get damage per int, 2%. So if you have 100 int on this build, they get 200% more damage. So I know a lot of people have been asking, like, is there going to be ballista build? Is ballistas finally going to be good? This node tells me that at least there's some hope. Then we've got Predator's Cascade. The wing burst deals damage in a larger area. We have Ambush. The wing burst deals more direct damage to enemies on high health. You can do up to 100% more damage to high health enemies, which is really good for a good spurt of energy right off the bat, or damage off the bat. Slayer of the Big Prey. The damage bonus from Ambush always applies to bosses and rares regardless of their health. So basically this gives you 100% more damage. We already know that any trash mobs that you find are going to die instantly anyways in a single hit or maybe a couple of hits, but the fact that that gives you 100% more boss damage and rare damage is pretty insane, so that's a big note there. We have Umbral Remnants. When the wing burst kills an enemy and you have 3 or fewer active shadows, it creates a shadow at that enemy's location, so you can actually make shadows for you. We have Projectile Training. A portion of your added, increased, and more throwing damage modifiers now apply to wing burst, which is pretty cool. So your character damage, you get 120% of it to your wing burst for the Falcon, so it actually gets not only all of your damage, but a little bit extra, which is really cool. We have Twilight Strike. The wing burst now also includes a few umbral blades that your Falcon throws for you. You literally use aerial assault and now it automatically throws umbral blades out for you, which is pretty cool. You can get up to 6 of those. And then you have Plumed Daggers. The umbral blade hits from Twilight Strike now inflict shadow daggers, so even more shadow dagger support. We all know the shadow daggers on the blade dancer is absolutely insane, and now it looks like you're going to have even more support if you do it as a Falconer. Then we've got Avian Hunter. Aerial Assault deals more damage and has a shorter cooldown, so you can get some cooldown recovery to use it more often there, as well as more damage. We have Featherstorm. After the initial wing burst, your Falcon continues releasing Featherstorm at the target location for 5 seconds, which is pretty insane. So some extra AoE there. Then we have Domain of the Huntress. Featherstorm now has a chance to slow enemies inside of its area each second. Additionally, you and your allies have additional dodge rating while inside that area, and you get +3 dodge rating per dex while inside the feather. Remember, we talked about how net gets to have extra damage per however much dodge rating you have, so another way to stack dodge, which allows your nets to do more damage. That's a cool synergy. We have Shaded Wingspan. If there is a boss or a rare enemy nearby aerial assault, now also creates a Shadow Falcon to use Featherstorm against it. So against rares and bosses, you'll have a secondary Featherstorm. That's pretty cool. We have Razorblade Plume. Featherstorm lasts longer and deals more direct damage. 100% duration takes you up to 10 seconds, and Featherstorm damage bonus per second. Every second is 10% more damage, so up to 100% at that 10th second. That's pretty insane. We have Darkwing Fall. Featherstorm now has a chance each second to drop black arrows for you. We have Storm on the Horizon. Aerial Assault no longer moves you. Additionally, it deals more damage and it no longer has a minimum range. That's pretty cool, but the more damage is just for damage over time, it looks like. And then we have Patrol. I don't even know. Featherstorm's base physical damage over time is converted to poison. Consequently, this damage scales with increases to poison damage and not physical. A portion of your global poison chance on hit now applies to poison chance per second for Featherstorm. And here's the cool thing, it's 200%. So your Falcon's Featherstorm can get 200% of your poison chance. That's absolutely nuts. Then down here on the bottom, we have Skyward Swoop. A portion of Aerial Assault's cooldown is recovered when your Falcon hits an enemy, so you can get 10% of the remaining cooldown recovered every Falcon hit. We have Treacherous Pursuit. Using Aerial Assault now also drops caltrops. So with Aerial Assault and Net, you have two different ways to drop caltrops everywhere. We have Vengeful Nails. Caltrops from all sources have a chance to slow on hit, and they deal more damage. With 4 points in Rending Barbs, caltrop hits from all sources have a chance to cause enemies to bleed. Now, I really like that it says from all sources, because nets also throw it, which means that this 200% bleed chance here must work for the ones also dropped from throwing nets, which seems pretty nuts. Definitely see some dot builds coming into this. Falcon bleed chance per 4 dex with this buff as well, since you get a buff if an enemy walks over your caltrops, which means that if you have 100 dex, your Falcon will have 100% bleed chance, which is pretty cool. This does stack an unlimited number of times, so the more enemies you have walking over more of your caltrops, your Falcon's going to get a ton of bleed. And then we have Spike Field. You now drop additional caltrops halfway through Aerial Assault's movement if you traveled at least 6 meters. Pretty cool. Going towards the right side here, we have Healing Gust. Directly using Aerial Assault recovers a portion of your missing health. 50% of your missing health can be recovered. So if you're at 50% health, it would take you up to 75% health. With a Gustborn Guard, the health gain from Healing Gust node is now converted to Ward instead. Ooh. That's actually pretty cool. If you're playing a low life build, that means that if you're already missing like 95% of your life, you can get 40% of your missing life every time you use this as ward. That seems like a really good ward gain that you can get there. Refreshing Resolve. Directly using Aerial Assault recovers a portion of your missing mana. You can get 9% of your mana that's missing replenished every time you use it. That's pretty sick. And Coordinated Assault, directly using Aerial Assault, recovers a portion of the remaining cooldown of Falconry and Dive Bomb per 10 maximum mana you have, stacking mana. And then we have Aerial Prowess. For the next 8 seconds after using Aerial Assault, critical strikes dealt by you or your Falcon grant you a stack of Aerial Prowess up to a maximum. When you use the next Aerial Assault, it consumes all stack to restore health and deal more damage. 2% per stack, you can have 36 max stacks, so up to 72% more damage, as well as 216 health gain, which is pretty insane. Falcon's Havoc. Consuming stacks of Aerial Assault now grants you Haste and Frenzy for a short duration per stack as well. At 36 stacks, divided by 5, that leaves you at about 7% duration, which is pretty long. Terror Rings. Directly using Ballista, Explosive Trap, Dive Bomb now also consume all stacks, applying that damage bonus to the ability as well. So if you're able to get 36 stacks and then say like have Dive Bomb go off, you can get 72% more damage for Ballista, Explosive Trap, Dive Bomb. That's actually pretty nuts. Torrent of Talons. Aerial Assault now has a chance to grant you the stacks on non-critical strikes as well, and when you kill an enemy, so more ways to get more stacks faster. And the last note here, Wind Rider. You have more global dodge rating while traveling. Additionally, each hit you dodge while traveling grants you a stack of Aerial Prowess. And you can have up to 300% increased dodge rating while traveling. That's actually pretty sick. And that's going to wrap it up for this tree. A lot of different ways to build it. You can get some dots, some AoE. I really like the caltrops, being able to lay them down, especially with the nets, the bleed chance, the poison synergies, the ballista for another minion that you can have out, shadow daggers. You have the aerial prowess in order to be able to buff other skills or this one itself, and then being able to replenish your health or gain ward or replenish your mana. Like tons of different aspects of this that you can use it for a ton of different situations. I really like that. But I'm going to go ahead and leave you guys with some gameplay of the tree spec a few different ways. As always, stay safe and have a good one.